Five healthy things for 2015. 5 health goals is what we're going to talk about on this show. And I want to give you these 5 things for people that are interested in more health and wellness, for ideal health. If you are interested in significantly reducing your disease risk, regardless of your family history, these are the 5 things that you're going to want to focus on. In future shows, I'm going to expand on these 5 things so you can stay tuned for those shows moving forward in 2015. I'm going to touch on these 5 things. Now, I have done health goals in other years, in 2012 and 2011 and so on and so forth. And they used to be 10 healthy goals and 12, and that's too much. We're narrowing it down to 5 things. Number 1 is nutrition. Number 1 will always be nutrition. And the reason for that is nutrition, the things that you put in your body, the fuel, the sustenance, everything that you need to put into your body, you need to be conscious of. This is extremely important. So take time and spend time on your nutrition. I have information on my YouTube page. I've done shows on this show in the past. If you need more detailed information, you can go seek that out. But today I want to touch on just a few things to get your nutrition in line for 2015. It is the most important thing. It's going to help you reduce heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's. It's going to help improve your energy and sleep, productivity, concentration. It can help with brain-based problems, learning disabilities, ADD and ADHD, and on it goes. Just my prior show, I had talked about allergies, asthma, and eczema. We talked about the nutrition aspects of doing that as well. So these are the things you need to focus on. Let me give you a couple of hints, things you need to do right now. The typical person that I talk to and patients in my practice, they need to rethink breakfast. Breakfast tends to be a problem for a lot of people, particularly our kids. And if we do the cereal and milk thing, that's terrible. Sure, it's quick and easy. It is ubiquitous. It is everywhere. Everybody does it. It's fast. And it tastes really good. Well, let's take one thing from Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne doing his stuff 50, 60, 70 years ago. He said, if it tastes good, spit it out. And that's the problem with a lot of breakfast foods, is they tend to taste good, right? Pancakes and waffles and pastries and the things that you get on the run at the coffee shop, most of the stuff is simply sugar. I think it's Michael Pollan that says, it might be somebody else, that said, if your cereal changes the color of the milk, it's bad, right? And I grew up with this stuff too, but that's terrible. We have to revamp our breakfast. So how about this? How about you try a organic, cage-free, no antibiotic egg or 2 with a few vegetables mixed in. You can make a scrambled egg, and particularly if you already have prepared vegetables, or you can do them raw, it can take you 3 minutes maximum to have that in front of you, or to have that, most importantly, in front of your children. Maybe something like that. How about leftovers? Why not eat dinner for breakfast? Whoever said that we have to have pancakes and waffles and toast and cereal for breakfast? That's very much an American thing, and that's very new. How about just leftovers for breakfast? Why not? If your children ask you for vegetables in the morning, celebrate that as a wonderful thing. So there's a couple of options. An egg or 2 with some vegetables mixed in, or leftovers for breakfast, dinner for breakfast. How about gluten-free grain for breakfast? Gluten-free oatmeal. Amaranth is another grain that you might want to try. Amaranth is one that you can find in most of your grocery stores. It cooks up like oatmeal. It tends to be kind of gooey when you cook it, so it passes for a breakfast cereal. Or quinoa. How about quinoa for breakfast? Another higher protein grain with less sugar. Add in some blueberries and walnuts to those things I just mentioned, and you have a quick breakfast that's ready to go. Now, some of these things like amaranth and quinoa, they take time to cook. So don't cook it every morning. On a Sunday, cook a big pan full of it, throw it in the fridge, and then just reheat it on the stove. I don't recommend a microwave. Reheat it on the stove on the fly. You can do that very, very quickly. Revamping your breakfast, incredibly important. Something hot off the press for you, hot off the press. This is for yesterday, January 7th of 2015. This is from an NPR show on the local Boston affiliate, WBUR. They have a show called Here and Now, and this is the title of the article and the piece that I heard yesterday. Is sugar more addictive than cocaine? And the answer is yes. In this article, they say it. And I want to back that up with Dr. Mark Hyman on a video I'm going to revisit in a moment with you, on a video that I watched. It's called Origins, and you can get to that video by this website, origins.well, meaning wellness, well, W-E-L-L.org, origins.well.org. For a while, they had the movie up for free, or you can definitely get a DVD. On that video, which, by the way, is awesome, Dr. Mark Hyman said, sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. 8 times. So here's the newest article from yesterday from NPR. In 2014, on average, Americans are eating 160 pounds of sugar per year. I have read that it's as high as 180 pounds per sugar. That is added sugar. That's processed sugar. That is sucrose, the powdered white stuff. That's added sugar, not the natural sugar in food. That's fine, and that's not included in this number. We're talking added sugar, 160. And if you think of it as 180 pounds per person per year, that is 1 pound of added sugar every other day. Compare that to the turn of last century, 1900. The average American took in 4 pounds of added sugar per year, or 1 pound every 3 months. Okay? It used to be 4 pounds, now it's 180. Do you see a problem with that? I certainly do. And if I could say if we could change one thing in the American diet, that would be it. If we went from 180 pounds of processed sugar per person per year and went back to 4 or even 10, kind of most of the problems are solved. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, obesity, wiped away for the most part with one change. And that's what I recommend for you. So nutrition-wise, that's what you want to work on. On my website, I have an article here as well, which I've talked about on this show. I give people 12 things that you can do. Let me buzz through a couple of them. Eat more vegetables. Vegetables are always going to temper other things that we take in, whether it's flour, gluten, dairy products, and so on and so forth. Eat more vegetables. Get rid of sugar. I just told you that. Drink only water. This is an important point. I need to get into this for you too. Drinking only water. If you make one change in your life, and you know who you are, drinking only water, that means no soda, no diet soda, no juice, no diet juice, no sports drinks, nothing but water. That one change may completely turn around your health and your life and your wellness and your longevity and the quality of your life moving forward. That's what it's all about. One thing, drink only water. The next recommendation I'd like to give you with nutrition is snacks for kids. I've presented this to my patients just recently over the past few months in 2014, 2015. And I said, so let's say your kids come home from school and you're putting out snacks. Get rid of the chips and crackers and candy and sweets and so forth. Replace it with vegetables and dip. So maybe, again, this is the one change you're going to make. Vegetables and dip, any sort of cut up vegetable whatsoever, and all kinds of dips. Hummus, salsa, guacamole. And don't worry about the fat in guacamole, that's good fat. And if you can make these recipes at home, and most of them are very easy, make your dips at home, make big vats of it, have laid out vegetables, whatever vegetable they can have. And if your child only likes, I only like one vegetable, carrots, then it's carrots. I only like 2 vegetables, then it's 2 vegetables. Put them all out there, put them with delicious homemade dips. They will be eaten. You're the director of the food activities at home if you have kids, so make that the change. Change your breakfast, number 1. Drink only water, number 2. Just grab one of these and do it. Healthy snacks for yourself and for your kids, number 3. That's the nutrition thing. So that's the first thing you want to do in 2015. Okay. Next up, exercise. Regular exercise. We're at the beginning. We're at January of 2015. Everybody's made their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to exercise and I'm going to get started. And so now all the gymnasiums everywhere are really busy. It's always busy in January. This hasn't changed for decades, right? So what are we going to do to move forward regarding exercise? I did a program in my office recently on exercise. Here's some of the things that we want to do. So if you're a non-exerciser or if you are just getting back into it, think of it this way. 20 minutes a day and shoot for every day. Maybe you take a day off a week because you just got too busy. Maybe it's 2 days off. I want you to shoot for every day. Every day makes sense to me because you're going to be doing 20 minutes. I would rather have you do 20 minutes a day, 6 days a week than an hour workouts 2 days a week. Same amount of workout time, but the 6 days a week at 20 minutes is way better for your body, your longevity, your disease risk reduction, and so forth. Think about that. 20 minutes a day. And we know, by the way, I want to talk about what positive effects you're going to get from regular exercise. First of all, I've talked about this statistic also from NPR in the past, comparing the number of hours that the average child in this country is in front of a video screen that includes computer, TV, smartphone, compared to the number of hours per week outdoors. So the average child is now in front of a video screen 52 hours per week. That is over 7 hours a day in front of some sort of a video screen. That is compared to 30 minutes outdoors. 52 hours a week video screen, 30 minutes, half an hour a week outdoors. Who's going to win that battle, right? We need to shift some of that video screen time to activity time. Recommendation I make to parents with kids that are addicted to computers and Xbox and smartphones and all this kind of stuff, they have to earn their video screen time by exercise. Some people say even 1-to-1. You exercise for an hour, you get an hour of smartphone. You exercise for an hour, you get an hour of TV, and so on and so forth. Whatever the negotiation needs to be, and make sure, depending on their age, that you have a written contract agreed upon ahead of time. Great idea. It's a good idea for yourself, too. There are brain effects to exercise. Physical activity linked to lower rates of cognitive decline, medical news in 2011. So in other words, you reduce your Alzheimer's and dementia by exercising regularly. You want to protect your brain. The number one reason I exercise just about every single day is, the main reason is for my brain. I want to try to keep my brain as healthy as I can. I want to be like Jack LaLanne was. Cancer prevention, we have a 30% reduction in breast cancer rates by regular exercises. Just one thing, I'll be doing shows on breast cancer prevention in the future. Immune system, exercise can prevent colds, study says. There's another one. Is exercise the best drug for depression? We have learned that side-by-side studies, you take common medications for mild to moderate depression and compare it with exercise. Exercise is always better. So people with mild to moderate depression, their prescription should be regular exercise, fish oil omega-3s, B vitamins, and a Mediterranean diet. These things have shown to outperform the typical psychotropic medications given to mild to moderate depression. Very interesting. So that should be the first thing that should be done for those conditions. We're not exercising very much now. Chronic exercise, it sounds like a bad thing, right? Regular exercise preserves lean muscle mass in ages 40 to 81 and so forth. You also want to mix cardiovascular exercise with resistance or weight exercise, okay? So you want both. You want a little bit of cardio and a little bit of weights. How are you going to do that? Well, if you're going to do the 20 minutes per day and you're going to do 6 days a week, maybe you do one day is 20 minutes of cardio. The next day is 20 minutes of resistance exercise. Next day is cardiovascular. Next day is resistance. You see, you can alternate it like that. If you want to, you can do 10 minutes and 10 minutes. Either way. So 20 minutes is the deal. Some people want to exercise more than that, and that's totally fine. So again, just mix it up. A lot of people that are going to personal trainers and going to gyms and so forth, what they do is they start off with some cardio and then they move to some weights. That's totally fine. And again, as long as it's regular, consistent, and many days a week, I do not think that 3 days a week is enough. Regarding the resistance training, you want to focus on upper body. So many of us have sit-down jobs, and a lot of cardio is focused on legs. We want upper body activities. We want shoulder work and back work and arm work with resistance training. Those are the things you want to do. Go get some inspiration. On my website, I have some local personal trainers that can help you if you want a trainer, if you want that accountability, and if you're new to exercise and you need some assistance, get a personal trainer, start working with them. Go slow, go easy. If you're going to be doing exercise classes and boot camps and so forth, don't end up in my office with an injury. This happens way too much, and we're already just in early January, and I already have people coming in to see me because they're doing too much, too quickly, too hard. Don't do that. Get some consultation if you need it, and you're in for the long haul. If we're going to be exercising when we're 96 years old, like Jack LaLanne, we're in for the long haul. Don't burn out now, don't get injuries now, and so forth. My exercise is much, much different now in my late 40s than when I was in my 20s and 30s. I've just made alterations so I can keep exercising long term. That is your goal. So exercise is going to protect your brain, reduce your risk of cancer, reduce your risk of other chronic diseases, heart disease and diabetes and so forth. It's going to make you live longer. That's a nice thing. It's going to improve your quality of life and save you a whole lot of money on healthcare costs. There's a lot of reasons to exercise regularly, and also with your kids. So that's number 2. The third thing on our list that we want to do, number 1 was good, healthy nutrition, and you want to work with that. Number 2 is regular exercise. Number 3, taking care of your spine. Taking good care of your spine. Wellness, chiropractic care is number 3. And I'm a chiropractor, and I think that's really smart. A lot of people, the public's perception of chiropractic is neck pain and back pain. If your neck and back hurt, go to the chiropractor. And when your neck and back feel better, stop going. That's a common perception. Now, a lot of people have chronic neck and back pain, and it can be debilitating, and that's a problem. Is chiropractic good at this? Absolutely. We are a shining star when it comes to acute and chronic neck and back pain treatment and prevention. And I've gone over studies, and we've gone head-to-head with common medications for neck and back pain, and we completely dust them in results, short-term and long-term. So the chiropractic is great for that, we know that. I just did another show on headaches and migraines. Chiropractic is shown to do really well there too. But I'm talking about ideal health and wellness. I'm talking about prevention. I'm talking about quality of life. And I'm also talking about longevity, how long you're going to live. Research has told us that the more of this you have, the shorter your life in years. We have to take care of our spine. And it's not only posture. Posture is part of it. So when we look at posture in your spine and the quality of your spine, it's posture in this direction, and it's posture in this direction, right? So we have 2 things that we need to look at. That's what we do in my chiropractic office. And as you can see, when you're a patient in my office and you stick around with me for a while, we start talking about these other things too, like nutrition and exercise and the 2 other things that I'm going to come up with, and prevention and wellness and quality of health and reducing your disease risk regardless of your family history, and so on and so on. So we talk about a lot in my office, not just the spine. So it's important to take somebody who's like this and get them straightened out. Maybe it's a baby with torticollis. How long do we want to leave this around? We want to get that straightened out. because your spinal misalignments and dysfunctions start when you're a baby, when you're a child, when you're a toddler, and then these things will cause problems later on. The earlier we intervene, the easier they are to take care of. That's why I recommend well baby checks in a chiropractic office, and I do that all the time. So taking care of your spine on a wellness prevention basis is the way to go. The typical patient in my office chooses to come in themselves and bring their kids in once a month, and that's what we want to be doing. Okay? Wellness chiropractic care. And here's why. Here's the important thing. Again, the perception is pain relief and pain prevention, right? What we want to be doing is improving the function of our brain and our immune system. The reason why I've been going to a chiropractor and receiving chiropractic adjustments for 40 years is because I want my brain to be at the highest performance and quality that I can, and I want my spine to last as good as it can, and I want my immune system to be as strong as possible. And the research is out there that says when we get our spines worked on and adjusted and keep it healthy and functioning, the quality of our brain goes up, our nervous system, and our immune system gets better. That's why you go to a chiropractor. Wellness and prevention. So that's the third thing on our list on things to do in 2015. Nutrition is number 1. Regular exercise, number 2. Wellness, chiropractic care long after pain is gone, is number 3. And get your kids checked too. It's so much easier to take care of the kids. Okay. Number 4, sleep. We need to work on sleep, right? So I did a program in my office recently on sleep, and I called it Keep Sleep Simple. What we're talking about is simple strategies that you can do to make your sleep better. You know, most people I talk to, they don't sleep enough. Some people I talk with, their quality of sleep is affected, and we want to make that better. Okay? I know with myself, I need 8 hours of sleep a night. When I get 8 hours, I feel wonderful the next day. And if that gets interrupted, or I go to bed too late, or I don't follow some of the suggestions here, my quality of sleep suffers, and then the next day I definitely suffer. And I think most people will agree with that. If they don't sleep well enough, then their day gets affected. The concentration is down and they're dragging and so forth. And I have found if I have a few nights in a row that I don't sleep well, particularly in the winter, I become more susceptible to getting sick, to getting the viruses that people are dragging into my office every single day. I literally am dealing with sick people every day. But luckily, gladly, most of the time, I am not sick. And I can go a year or longer without any cold or at all, even though I'm completely fully exposed every day. Reason being, I try to keep my immune system strong. How do I do that? The first 3 things that we talked about, plus good quality sleep. So, here's some recommendations. We know that your nutrition, when it's high in sugar and you have inflammation going, you're not going to sleep as well because your chemistry is all messed up. So, changing your nutrition will improve your sleep. There's a link there. The second thing we talked about today was exercise. Regular exercises find that they sleep better because it just, again, regulates that brain chemistry a little bit better, and insulin and so forth, and inflammation. We tend to sleep better. Little caveat to exercise though. Some people find that they exercise better in the morning, so if they exercise early, they sleep better at night. They find that if they exercise in the evening, they don't do as well. Okay? Some people find if they exercise at night, close to bedtime, they actually sleep better. So you're just going to have to decide and play with it and see what is best for you. For some people, it doesn't seem to have an effect at all. Okay? So keep that in mind. The timing of your exercise can affect sleep. No sugar before bed. If you spike up your insulin, you increase the hormones that want to keep you awake and alive and ready to go, don't do that. Avoid sugar before bed. If you need to have a snack, make it more fat and protein, not sugar and carbohydrates, particularly simple carbohydrates. Water. Drinking water late in the day and loading up on the water because you've lost ground can interrupt sleep because you have to get up more times during the night to go to the bathroom. So I'm always telling people, most people are chronically dehydrated. That's going to affect your sleep. It's going to affect your brain. It affects all your organs. So we need more water, but you have to front load the day. You want to start sipping water early in the day when you first get up. Don't try to catch up in the evening or before bed because that can run into problems. So more water in the morning when you're not thirsty, drink water. I have to force myself, if you will, to get 6 to 8 ounces in before breakfast. And I'm not thirsty, but I work at it, and once you get into a habit, it becomes easier and easier. Water between breakfast and lunch. Again, even when you're not thirsty. Have a situation where you have a mug in front of you or a glass, and you fill it up and you make sure you drain it before lunch. Get 12 ounces in that period. Then between lunch and dinner, try to do the same thing. I have a pattern where I have a glass that I know is 12 ounces at my office desk. So I make sure I fill it and drain it before lunch. I fill it and drain it before I leave for the evening. So there's a good 24 ounces that I'm getting in right there. So have that pattern of getting that regular water in. Supplements we've found have helped sleep too. Working with patients for 25 years, I find when we get the omega-3s and fish oil up, B vitamins up, vitamin C, vitamin D, we get that up. Sometimes probiotics can improve sleep. Lavender can help some people. I don't recommend going right for the sleep aids and the medications right away if there's other conservative ways of getting your sleep in line. So make sure you work with the environment in your bedroom too. You want it as dark as possible. Keep computers and TVs out of your bedroom. Keep the electronics out of there as best you possibly can. Try to get your cell phone out of there because it will blink while it's powering through the evening, and laptops will have a little bit of light that will be blinking, and that can slightly affect your ability to get to deep sleep. So get rid of that. Try to turn off your smartphones and your computers and so forth as early as you can in the evening before you get to bed, because that blue light that comes from computer screens and smartphones triggers the brain and says, oh, gee, the sun must be out. It's time to stay awake, and it interferes with the melatonin and the sleep cycles and so on and so forth. So try to shut off those electronics as early as you can. You want a cooler in your bedroom as well. Make sure it's not too warm. Right now in the winter months, so that's easy to do. But in the summer months, try to keep it cooler. And a lot of people are affected by keeping their feet warm, so a lot of people need to wear socks to bed too, because if your feet are cold, again, it will affect that ability to get to deep sleep. Okay. Pillows and mattresses matter. We don't have time to get into that tonight, but getting the right mattress for you, getting the right pillow for you, I'm going to address this in my new book. I'm going to address it on future programs and so on and so forth. So your comfortable structure needs to play a role with sleep as well. Okay, so that's the fourth thing you're going to do in 2015. Nutrition is always number one. Exercise, number two. Wellness, chiropractic care, and spine. Better sleep is number four. And then number five is stress. Stress will deserve its full show later on, and I will do that. And I have done programs for my patients in my office on stress. So we need to address that. Chronic stress is devastating. We all know that. So we need help and assistance in dealing with stress. We all have it. I'm going to give you one exercise. I've talked about this on this show 15 years ago when I was first doing my cable television show. I did a show on stress. I had people comment back and they said, we really love this. This was really helpful. Here's your exercise. You're going to practice with driving. Has anybody ever cut you off before? It might have happened once or twice, right? How do you feel when somebody cuts you off? Right? For a lot of us, it's not so good. You might have colorful words that might come to mind, or particular expressions that seem to be generated from this scenario. Think about it. Somebody cuts you off. Nobody got hurt. No accident. No nothing. It happens all the time. Does that impact your day? Should it? Does it impact your goals, your life, your family, your work, your career, your hobbies, your goals, your relationship to God, whatever it might be? Did it affect that? No. Is it worth getting stressed and pressured about that situation? Absolutely not. Is it worth generating pain and inflammatory chemicals, fight or flight responses by somebody who cuts you off in the car, somebody who's treating you less than excellent behind the wheel? Absolutely not. Can it be adverse to your health and wellness moving forward? You're right. So here is your exercise. Start thinking of different ways of reacting to someone who cuts you off in your car. It is a worthy experiment. Instead of reacting negatively or in an ignorant way like that person is reacting to you, smile it off. It doesn't mean anything to you. Nothing happened. Laugh about it. Be thankful that you didn't behave that way behind the wheel of your car, right? treat it in some other way or fashion that's going to do that. And also consider turning off the news and turning on some thought-provoking literature and information and radio shows and DVDs in your car instead of listening to all that depressing news. That will help you with stress. So those are 5 things to work on in 2015. Get the nutrition better, the exercise, wellness chiropractic care, better sleep, and reduce that stress. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller. Please join me again.